Hey everyone, it's Ryan with another morning coffee. Sorry, slipped over that a little bit. A couple things to talk about today. One thing that I was reading in the news that was kind of interesting is Pokemon Go has lost 10 million players in like over the last little bit of time, which is kind of interesting because it's like this game comes out, it like completely takes over the internet, takes over like the real world, um, and all this stuff. People are filing lawsuits, trying to get a piece of it. Like people are getting upset because people are trespassing in their yards and all this stuff. And then it starts losing speed. It's like now you don't see people playing it anymore. Um, it's an interesting like thought process and just the internet age that we live in and the short attention span that we have as people. It's just like things become old news so fast. This is a great example of that. So like everybody played it. It's all they did for like 3 weeks or whatever, and then it's kind of like, oh okay, well now I'm done. I've gotten kind of a good level of the game. I've beaten some other people in duels, and there's just not a lot of places to go. Once you get to that point. Um, it looks like it probably won't have the staying power that people maybe thought it did, where it was like the next, Clash of Clans or something like that. That's just kind of an ongoing thing. It's interesting, but that's probably a good thing, all in all, that there's probably not millions of people playing it that were last month because it was weird and it was dangerous in some regards. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. A few updates I want to share with you guys on what's going on with me and what's going on with the album, in case you're tuning in for that specifically. So, one thing that's going on right now is RyanShore.net is completely revamped as of right now. So, if you go to www.ryanshore, just my name, .net, not .com, that's another one, another Ryan Shore rather. So RyanShore.net, it is completely different. There's new artwork in there. There's on the homepage, and then there's some new pages. Now, not everything is completely revamped, so I don't like go through like every page and you're like, this one is still the same as it was from a year ago. There are some pages that are similar, and I'm in the process of updating those right now. But most of it and the theme of it, the look and feel of it's completely brand new. There's also a new music page, which we're going to use to be talking about things that are happening, like the Christmas album. And there's a second newsletter now. So there's always been the option on the website to sign up for like a friends and family update. And that list is probably peaked to where it's at. We've mainly used that to communicate like with supporters and for people that are interested in following the kind of the church planning side of us. And that list isn't going anywhere. We only send out like 2 or 3 newsletters a year to that list. It's just kind of really big, like family updates. This is what's going on. We moved to Tennessee. Ryan stepped down as worship pastor. Johnny took on this role. We're about to send another one of those out right now to update on some changes that have been happening with us here in Tennessee. But that's kind of what that list is for. There's another list now you can sign up for to get updates on the Christmas album. And so that one's going to have that'll be the first place that the release date gets announced, when there actually is a release date. That one's going to have stuff in it like behind the scenes footage that you won't be able to see anywhere else. Some sneak peeks into the album as it's being made, just kind of different stuff like that. So if you don't want to miss out on that kind of info, then be sure to subscribe for that. I'll put a link to that page in the comments of this video, or in the bottom of the description of this video, so that you can go to it and check it out. But that's there. So the album is going to be on iTunes. It'll also be on the website as well. It'll be slightly cheaper buying it straight from us on the website than it will be on iTunes, but it'll be in both places. Anyway, so that's what's going on with that. As far as how the album itself is going, I actually worked on it yesterday for a few hours, got all the rough tracks recorded. So Kind of when you're doing like a recording process, the first thing that you do is you go through and you get like what's called a rough track down. And that can be a bunch of different stuff. A lot of times it can be like a demo track, like a guitar or like a guitar with a vocal. Sometimes it's just drums. If you have like depending on how you're recording it. Um, for me, what I do first is I usually record how whatever kind of carries the song. So for most of them yesterday, it was guitar and vocal. And the things like I really locked down in the rough track, it's like it's the final version of the song in regards to tempo and arrangement, like the chord structure and how it goes, and like verse chorus or verse chorus bridge. It is like the final version of the song. It's just what you're hearing, the guitar that's playing and the vocals that are singing aren't gonna make it onto the final track. So it's like it is the final version of the song, but not as you're gonna hear it. But it allows me to come back behind and record everything else. So today I'm recording drums and bass for all the songs. So I'll sit down on my drum set, which is here behind me, and I'll just go through song by song, and I'll lay down the drums for each one. And then once I feel really good about all those, then I'll save all that, and then I'll plug in my bass, which I have to restring first because I haven't restrung it in like 6 years or something. It's been a long time. But I'll plug in my bass and get like it kind of sounding the way I want it tone wise so that I can record, although I'll tweak the sound a lot later. But I'll just get it sounding good for me, just so it kind of feels good. I can record the way I want, and then I'll go through and I'll record bass on every song on the album, and just roll through. So the goal is by the end of the day, I'm completely done with drums. I'm completely done with bass, other than touch up stuff. Now sometimes you have to come back in when you're in the mix phase. You might hear something and you're like, oh, that really didn't work. And sometimes you can just edit it. Or like the drums, I record on MIDI, and then I actually use like Drum Replacer or Addictive Drums, which is a drum like synthesizer basically, but it sounds like real drums. Because I don't have a real set and I don't have all the mics to mic a real set. So the drums I use are they're DAW, or like digital audio workstation drums. So those can be, I mean, I don't have to have my drum set again. I can tweak those just by hand and drag notes around because they're all MIDI. But like the bass, I may have to come back in and re-record, but sometimes I can even kind of do tricks with it to not have to re-record it. Although usually it's easier just to re-record. So that's kind of just a little snippet of the recording phase and how that works. So after today, I'll have the foundation, the drums and the bass done, and so then we'll start recording everything else. So I'll probably have like a keys day where I do nothing but, piano, organ, pad, strings, synths, everything that's done on my keyboard. And then I'll have like a guitar day where I do electrics and all that stuff. So, and then I'll do vocals last. So that's kind of how the recording process works. And then once all that's done, then you go into mixing and you do a first pass kind of at the mix and decide if there is stuff you need to go back and you need to hit again, or if you can just kind of finish the mixing phase and then master it after that. So that's how recording an album works, in case you wanted to know. If you're more interested in that and you want to see a little bit more of the process, feel free to let me know. A great way to let me know you're interested in learning more about this process is to like and subscribe this video. So if you want to know more, like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it out, and that shows me that you're interested in what's going on in the process, and I will continue to post more stuff. But anyway, that's kind of it for today. So check out the link below to get more information, sign up for the newsletter for the Christmas album, and I will see you guys later.